Oh, yes. You know, I got to thinking about that rendering of criminal assistance. Yes. And I was looking at these conspiracies. There are no one-man conspiracies. Yeah. Now, notwithstanding the two-party requirement, no co-conspirator need have been tried or even identified, as long as the government produces evidence from which the conspiracy might be. Yes. Might be inferred. Even the acquittal of a co-conspirator is no defense. Moreover, a person may conspire for the commission of a crime by a third person, though he himself is legally incapable of committing the underlying offense. Now, this whole rendering of criminal assistance, yes. Let's say that I know that there's more than one sheriff in Clallam County that should be prosecuted for the lesser criminality of issuing protection orders. Yes. But they all conspired that they would render criminal assistance to my wife. Yeah. To those that got paid for the show. Yeah. Now, it's one thing to have a conspiracy for treason. Yes. But it looks like the laws were intended that just one person would be rendering criminal assistance to another person. Yes, yes. But let's say there was a conspiracy in the police department, and the chief of police, Brian Smith, had conspired with chief of police Cherie Crane that they would not enforce the actual requirements of the law to be able to issue court orders. Yes. In fact, there was a co-conspiracy. Yes. That they would have me arrested. Yes. For false and misleading information. Pow, pow, pow. Now, there could be multiple conspiracies going on here. Yes. The same actors involved in it. Right. But when you're rendering criminal assistance to a woman that abducted my sons, and I don't get any phone calls, it looks to me that one or many overlapping conspiracies. Yes. The task of sifting agreement from mere association becomes more difficult, more important, with suggesting overlapping conspiracies. Now, there's a big question: how many conspiracies can you be involved in where you could get tried for the individual crimes? Yes. Then you could get tried for being co-conspirators. Pooch. Now, I was warning a couple days ago these overt acts and conspiracy to defraud the United States. Yes. Now, federal law contains several statutes, yes, that outlaw defrauding the United States, and your refusal, failure, and inability to enforce the actual laws of the United States, would that be considered defrauding the United States of the enforcement of the laws? Yes! Then it would seem to me that you could not only be tried for failing, yes, having the inability, yes, and refusing to enforce the laws, you could be tried for defrauding the United States and misprision of treason. Now, I was this United States versus Reed. Once a conspiracy established on a slight connection to the conspiracy necessary to support conviction. Now, for every one of these Class B and C felonies that you didn't want to prosecute for, I'm just looking at these through the admission of false claim. Yes, 18 USC 371. Now, when you violate state law, yes, and then you have 2 USC 333. Yes, and the elements to defraud are an agreement of two or more persons, defraud the United States, an overt act of furtherance of the conspiracy committed by one of the conspirators. Yes. The fraud covered by the statute reaches any conspiracy for the purpose of impairing, obstructing, or defeating the lawful functions of any department of the government. Yeah! Now, let's say, okay, you're sitting there in the sheriff's office. You're asking yourself, well, what should I do in this situation? Well, you made the decision to not do anything, so you're unable, you failed, and you refused to enforce the actual laws. So you decided that you would render criminal assistance.